is going to start out with a few comments regarding the budget, and you probably heard them before because they'll be pretty similar to what you heard with our House counterparts with regard to the absence of any information from the other party as regard to numbers. So legislators, both Republicans and Democrats, are being asked to vote without full information on the budget. More importantly than that, the citizens of Iowa are not being given a complete picture of the state budget. 2 weeks ago, the majority party released joint budget targets representing $3.3 billion of the 2009 general fund budget. The governor's budget totaled $6.4 billion, so you can see there's an absence, nearly half of the budget we don't know about. We're wondering where the rest of the money is. Putting together a budget in the back room and without any sunshine, and then asking citizens of Iowa to trust without any verification is just poor government. This is not only fiscally irresponsible, but it's playing politics with Iowans' tax dollars. And right now, it appears there are three options. We can raid our reserves. The governor said he's going to be pretty protective of that. We can cut spending, and quite frankly, legislators on both sides of the aisle have had difficulty doing that in past years. Or we can look for some additional revenues, and I don't know what they might be. The debate last night didn't help the case. Casinos are estimating that the results of last night's discussion is somewhere in the $60 to $100 million range. I don't have any verification of that, and I also don't know what the dollar impact will be on taverns, but obviously it's going to be substantial.
Thank you, Senator Kettering. He's pretty well covered most of the issues on that. I continue to personally be concerned about what's going to happen with our, as we call them, rainy day funds. They continue to talk, the governor continues to talk about not dipping into them, and I don't see how they're going to put their budget together. But what really concerns me is if we dip into them at the level we believe they'll need to dip into them this year, that's not going to leave hardly anything to make the budget work for next year. So when you start looking at projecting this budget out for 2 or 3 years, and if they do dip into the rainy day funds, the reserves will be gone in a year or a little over a year, and we got some serious budget problems ahead of us now.
Anything with funnel week coming, are there high priorities for Republicans that you are concerned are going to die with the funnel?
You know, we've got staff going through a list of those, and I just off the cuff, there are probably some things out there that I ought to be talking about, and I'm probably they're not looking at it.
Maybe more in general then, are you disappointed that Republican bills have been unable to get a vote in committee?
Sure. We've it's a rerun of last year. I mean, last year, and I've said this a number of times, last year, to the best of my memory, one Republican bill passed out of the Senate last year, and it was the bill that dealt with alcohol levels while voting. And I think we got a handful, or maybe a couple of handful of amendments onto bills last year, and some of those were stripped off in the House. So yeah, it's just a rerun of last year. I mean, we're not seeing anything different. We're continuing to work our way through and do the things that we can to represent the people that have sent us down here. And the Democrats, again, for the second year in a row, are not giving us an opportunity to do that, and maybe they don't have to. But it would certainly seem to me that it would make some sense. I think people want to talk about change. I think people want us to work together on a bipartisan basis, and that's not happening.
House Republicans say they're not going to vote for a single budget bill at the subcommittee, committee, or on the floor to basically the entire picture. And so, are you guys joining that effort, or are you what are you doing?
We're having a conversation about that. We're having a conversation about that, and that certainly is an important piece to me personally. I will continue to talk about that with our caucus, and we need to see the big picture before we see the pieces of this thing. Senator Kettering, you have a comment?
Well, my comment would be we give a lot of responsibility and authority to our individual ranking members, and they will be determining how they wish to do that committee by committee. I think while you will not be able to attend all of those meetings, I think you'll find a lot of cooperation in a substantial number of those committees.
You mentioned, I don't remember what your numbers were, but for the casinos and the taverns that are going to lose money, why do you feel they're going to lose that much?
As I said, I don't have any verification for those numbers. I've just heard those numbers as coming from the casinos, and I didn't put a number on the taverns. I don't know. There's some evidence that we've seen some shifting with the Illinois ban that there was over our way. I assume there'll be some shifting that goes to the Indian casinos. I don't have any background information on those numbers. Those are put out by the industry, and that's the number I've heard.
Any predictions on what do you think will happen between the Senate and the House for the smoking ban? Feelings, predictions?
I personally dropped my crystal ball last week and broke it. I have to tell you, Dave, that I believe that a big portion of that, Senator Kettering touched on that, I believe a big portion of that will come from a result of people shifting to the Native American casinos. I really do. We've talked long and hard about this not being a health issue. This is politics on the smoking ban. And the reality of it is that I believe that Iowans want the opportunity to patronize the type of businesses that they feel the most comfortable in. And I think that when you walk around and look in a casino, that there are a number of folks that smoke in a casino, and I think they're going to, people on our borders will cross the border. People that, for example, up in my area, we do have a casino on the river that does pay taxes to the state of Iowa. We have 2 casinos within 30 miles of that casino that do not, and this smoking ban does not affect. So I don't, Senator Kettering said, and I certainly agree with him, we don't have any documentation. Only time will tell whether or not those guesstimates on those numbers are correct, but the reality of it is that I certainly believe that revenue in the state of Iowa will be affected. I only have one other thing, if you have no other questions, and that is I want to share with you that the governor's office has contacted us, and on Monday morning at 10:30, we have a meeting with the governor on our economic stimulus packages that we've talked about. We've not gotten any indication as to what the content of that meeting will be or the depth of discussion, but we certainly have an opportunity to talk with the governor on Monday morning at 10:30, and we're looking forward to that, and we'll continue to work on that piece. Thank you for being here.
Is that going to be the second or third meeting now?
Second.
Second? Okay.